Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 16 of RollPlay Nebula Jazz. Put on your leotards. It's time to jazzercise. Before we play our little role-playing game, I need to get caught up with my friends here. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hello and welcome.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Hi.
Jesse, I'm having a problem. I'm having
Oh,
a problem, and I was hoping you could help me with it.
I
So,
don't.
The bank
I don't know where this
issued
is going.
the bank issued me this card that I can use to make purchases, but I don't know how it works, and I was hoping you could walk me through the process.
I am done helping people for the day. I'm done.
Fair.
You tried to do a good deed and it blew up in your face.
Yeah, so I went to,
Unfair.
because I'm a dummy, I went to the gas station thinking that I could get gas before I came on this show.
Yeah.
And because it's also Saturday, a day that I usually don't associate with anything except sleep and maybe staring at a computer screen until well after the afternoon. Yeah, there was a lot of people. And so I decided, I was like, oh, well, this elderly woman looks like she won't take forever. So I pulled up behind her and she just stared at the screen. And it was like watching someone try to read a different language. She just looked at it and like put her card in. And I was like, all right. So I'm listening to some music, pulls the card out, looks at it, puts the card back in, pulls the card back out. This was like a 5-minute process. She couldn't figure out what to do. A normal person would have just gone inside and asked for help, but she did not. So I got out of my car and I was like, can I help you? And she looks at me and is like, basically, mind your own damn business. I don't remember what she said exactly. I know I wrote it on Twitter, her exact words. But it was like, basically that. Like, she was done. She was done with me. And I was like, what? Okay. So I just went and sat back in my car. A car pulls up behind me. Now the option to leave is gone.
Yeah, you're fucked now. That's it.
I'm
in.
You're in this whole thing. So a car pulls up behind me, and the car sits there and then starts to honk because this woman won't move. And I turn around. This guy behind me is like yelling through the windshield, so I can't hear shit he's saying. But he's like, right? I look back at him, and I can't tell if he thinks that I'm the problem. If that's the case,
There's an overwhelming need to like express to the person behind you.
Not me.
It's not me. Yeah, I've definitely been in that position before where I'm like, it's not me. And they're just like, ah, and I'm like, ah.
I feel like in these kinds of situations, we have to try to remember to be gentle and polite with these confused elderly folks, because someday when we're at the energy station attempting to pay for our energy in cubes with our nano bio electrical cubes.
Put me on an iceberg, push me out in the ocean, and don't want to be even involved.
Yeah.
Just give me like a sack of sandwiches, push me out on a fucking iceberg.
Right, in the traditional Viking style.
Yeah.
A bag of burgers.
I can't. If I become that, I'm done. It was insane.
Wait, is it like if I become unable to understand how to pay for things, or is this if I become so belligerent that I refuse to accept help? Which one is it?
Yeah.
Which one like constitutes let me die at sea with burgers?
Well, here's the thing. I am under the belief that if you are someone who is belligerent at that age, you were probably belligerent for a while before that. Like, you didn't just suddenly, the switch didn't flip. You're probably an asshole before that.
Yeah.
I wonder about that, though, because I think the older you are, the more time life has had to disappoint and upset you. So the chances of getting angry by the time you're old, you're like, man, I got 70 years of bullshit behind this particular day.
But it does seem like when you meet old people, it seems like they ramped in one way or the other, right? It either was, I was already mildly annoyed with the world and now I fucking hate everything about the world, or it was, life is pretty okay. And then by the time you're old, you're like, you know what? Just every day is a blessing. Like, you don't know which one you're going to wind up being.
Yeah.
I like that your theory of getting old is that being elderly drives you to extremism. Like,
it does.
We just
It
lose
does.
the ability
That's
to be
true.
moderate. Okay. All right. I can get behind that.
I've always thought that a good version of my elderly self would be the kind that eats grapes at the grocery store and steals batteries. It's like, what are you going to do? Throw me in jail? I'm 80. Like, piss off. Like, okay, kid, I want to be the one who like opens a bag of chips in the store and leaves the bag. I want to be that guy.
I mean,
What
you're
are you doing to me?
ultimately you're playing chicken with the grim specter of death here.
Yeah.
And so at some point you got to be like, you know what? I do want to try heroin. Thank you.
Right? I want to be that guy. Like, F it. I feel like skydiving. This is the good time to do it. I'm not scared. Let's go.
Yeah.
Like, you will break all your bones. I don't need those.
Yeah, what do I need those for? I'll probably die. Yeah. No, I feel that.
Yeah.
Well,
I wouldn't be mean. I would like if someone's like, "Can I help you?" and I've been sitting there for 10 minutes trying to figure out. I'd be like, "Yes." I don't know how this effing thing works.
You know what? Like, let's just be reasonable with this old lady. Maybe she was just high out of her head on all that PCP she never did as a 30-year-old, and you just picked the wrong day to fuck with grandma. So
Can I tell you, it was in Venice, California, so it's quite a possibility. There's a strong chance that she was high.
That wasn't even her car.
No,
yeah,
exactly. Well, I mean, that's the thing. You lucked out. You didn't run into like a Michael Douglas falling down situation where she just like gets out her Mac 10 and just like mows you down for daring to look at her. So you're good. You lived, and that's
the grandma I want to be.
I think that all the time.
Mac 10 grandma.
I want to be Mac 10 grandma. Yeah.
10:35. No breakfast. Man, we serve breakfast all day now. Oh, thank God. I was gonna have to kill you all.
The future is wonderful.
I'm into it. Yeah.
I was thinking, can I tell you I was thinking about that the other day? Falling down. If it was a modern movie, it'd start out the exact same way. Then he'd go to the McDonald's scene. He'd be like, "Yeah, I want a breakfast sandwich." And they're like, "Sorry, sir, we don't serve it anymore." Instead, they'd be like, "Here you go, sir. Have a breakfast sandwich." And it would stop the movie. He'd be like, he'd go have a happy time. He'd go hang out with his ex and like his kids. And he'd be like, "You know what? Life's not so bad." Just put it out there.
Yeah.
Yep. Catalysts are very important to storytelling.
I think that's what Joel Schumacher wanted you to take away from that film. It was a letter aimed straight at the fast food companies of the world. Serve breakfast all day, and finally,
give me my goddamn hash browns when I want a fucking hash brown.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joel Schumacher. Thank you.
I'm just saying, since the 90s, there has been a dramatic drop in crime, and I feel like it's related to all-day breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's a correlation, but I'm just saying statistics are there that prove that I'm correct.
The red string of my mind is definitely tying up in a way that leads me to believe.
In that same vein of logic, we have all existed since the 90s, and maybe the cause of the crime decrease. Me especially. My birth, I think.
You
single-handedly?
Sam, are you trying to secretly tell us that you're a superhero? Is that what you're trying to get at here? Are you trying to...
I mean, we're never allowed to directly say it.
Right, okay,
you know?
sure.
But there's no rules that say I can't, like,
I'm not saying
dance around the edge.
Weird. They're super friends. He's part of a team.
Oh no! Oh god! Is this one of those awkward situations where we're all superheroes but nobody knows it?
No.
No, one of us is a villain.
No, I'm straight up Lex Luthering this thing. Sorry, guys.
Pocket's actually a villain.
It's Pocket. Yeah.
Jesse has some kind of a compartment in his room that has all of our weaknesses stored in containers.
Makes a lot of sense.
When he opens my box, there's nothing inside.
Every conversation that I've ever had with Pocket, she keeps bringing up what my secret weakness is, and I'm like, "Listen, Pocket, like, can we talk about anything else for once?" No, just
she's got folders on her computer with video of all of you and your new secret names that she
made up all of our names,
and she designed our logos, which was very kind
all of our logos too. Yeah. Every single one.
Fantastic.
How convenient.
It would be weird if that happened in a movie. Thank God that modern day storytellers know that that's a terrible idea.
Yeah, that'd be so strange.
Yeah, what a weird thing that would be, man. So Pocket and I have both remained in our home countries, but the three of you, I guess Sam, you returned to yours. Y'all were away for some time. We were doing wrestling one shots while you were away, but tell me why you were in this foreign country. I have a vague understanding, but I'd like to know more.
Jesse, would you like to?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to hear why. I'd love to hear honestly why they were there.
So let me just tell you when
much better version of the story.
When CoxCon in the past came up, when people mentioned it, I mentioned it much like the apocryphal PaceyCon, in which it's Jesse standing in a parking lot with a cardboard sign that says CoxCon 2017, and people are wandering by.
A rented bouncy castle that no one's on.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I envisioned. But then I saw there was like things happening, and I saw it on the internet.
And panels and
professional logo design. It's crazy.
That.
Basically,
nothing's professional about it, but
Here, allow me a moment to brag about my cool friend Jesse. But basically, a while back, we were going to attend a convention that we convinced a lot of people to buy tickets to.
It was 3.5 years ago.
Yeah, that then went bankrupt. And they were like, sorry.
GamuCon.
It's called GamuCon. They were like, sorry, we can't refund anybody their money. We don't know what to tell you. And Jesse was like, this shall not stand, because he was already going to be in England for other stuff. So he was like, you know what? Since I'm already going to be there, I'm going to just set up a thing so that any of you who bought tickets to GamuCon can come and hang out and play board games and have like a community event. And it'll just be fun. And we'll call it CoxCon, lol. And it did so well that now, over the last few years, it's been an actual convention, and they keep adding cool stuff to it. And it's just a big community event where people come and hang out and watch us talk about bullshit. And it's super fun. So it all started off with Jesse just being a cool, sweet guy. And that's what CoxCon is.
Yeah, I got to watch some video from it this year. It looked like lots of fun. I know a lot of people were talking about it. I'm personally very upset that it took you away from me, but that's okay. That's fine. I'm just a little possessive.
I mean, this is our preemptive payback for you leaving for essentially a month.
That's true.
To bask in the sun.
No, I don't want. That's the part I don't want.
The sun, the Japanese sun.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to the giant shield that North Korea is going to deploy to rob Japan of the sun for the time while I'm there. I think it's going to be great. I'm really into it.
Isn't that
North
Simpsons
Korea
plotline?
is Mr. Burns? What?
Thank you. Yes. Thank you. Thanks, Ted. That was the joke. But yeah, that's true. I will be away for some time, so I can hardly stow thrones in this regard.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how was CoxCon? Did you have a great time? It looked like you were having a good time.
It was super fun.
I hope they did.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. I hope it was a good time.
Never again.
Yeah. It was great. It was super fun. A bunch of us got to go this year. We did some fun panels.
It's in a place called Telford, which is essentially like one of those towns where you can never find. You always end up there when your car breaks down, and there's just nothing there. And so, like,
but there is stuff there. There's like a big outdoor mall that no one is in.
The first time we went, it was just a car park. The entire county of Telford is just a car park with like an empty mall. But then over the last 2 years, they've built. I guess they're trying to like commercialize it. They've put like fancy restaurants, movie theaters. Like they've like really built the place up. So now it was like actually pretty cool.
The civil government of Telford is really just building up. They're building up so that Jesse will buy it. I think is the thing.
Yeah.
Buy Telford?
Yeah, become Coxburg.
I like the idea that like all of those fancy restaurants we saw are just like they're just like those little like pop-ups. They're just there for like the month of CoxCon, and then it's a ghost town again. They just leave. And the council is like, thank God they didn't suspect a thing.
I'll definitely say the first year we did it, we tried to get restaurant stuff through discounts, and people, they just ignored the hell out of us. And then this year they were like tweeting out like, hey, if you're in the area, you should totally come by. I was like, oh.
I love when things like that happen. Gen Con is so bad for this, or good, I guess, if you like being pandered to. In Indianapolis during Gen Con, every restaurant, some officially, some unofficially, just like it tries to become like a nerd venue, to the point where 2 years ago I went to a restaurant who had printed up new menus. It was all the exact same stuff, but with kind of dorky names for things. And somebody ordered something, and it was like, on the menu, it was magic missiles. They were just like deep fried pickles. And they showed up and was like, here's your magic missiles, sir. And he's like, these are pickles. I can clearly see there's nothing magical about this. And they're like, but on the menu, just say magic missiles. Also, it costs 50 cents more because nerd tax. It's really bad for that.
I was about to say CoxCon. Comic-Con is really bad for that, too.
Yeah.
When I've gone to Comic-Con, any place that you go to, they like put a couple little stuffed Marvel superheroes around, and then everything on their menu is like nerdy themed and a few dollars more.
Yeah.
Why?
All the waiters are dressed like characters from Star Trek, and you're just like, you don't like Star Trek, and they're like, I don't like Star Trek.
But everything about it, just Comic-Con in general, is like the worst experience. Guys, don't go.
Great.
Don't go. It is a mess.
Like, have you been to New York yet?
New York Comic-Con?
I heard New York's better than San Diego. San Diego is just Hollywood pumping an agenda, but I heard New York is actually more centered.
It's true though.
It's true.
It's what I'm saying. Supervillain talk right there. Like,
I've heard
Wow,
Emerald City
and
Comic-Con
San
is really
Diego.
good too.
But I heard that New York is a lot more centered around the comics and games than it is about movies, where San Diego is overcrowded, way too many people, and it's just an
Feel
agenda.
like she doesn't like San Diego.
I don't. To be fair, I don't really like
San Diego's not built for the size of the convention they've created. Like,
it's not.
Like,
the entire
it's so
downtown
bad that
area
your
is a
phones
mess.
Don't work if
Yeah.
you're there. It's so weird.
yeah, there was a window of time in which I was considering going to San Diego Comic-Con, but it's gotten so big since then that I feel like I can't go. I'm kind of just like, I don't. It's fine. I'll just watch it on TV. The restaurant, like the cultivating restaurant things, I think it can be cool when it becomes like an event. Like South by Southwest had a bunch of these where it was like a specific TV show would essentially like you buy the restaurant or bar for the time on South by and be like, so like what was the one I saw was they turned a bar into a secret radio station, and it was a tie-in for Man in the High Castle. So it was like kind of like a resistance radio, and it was actually really cool.
That sounds awesome.
And because it was, I think because it was Austin, it wasn't like Indiana. Like, here's some fried pickles. They're magic missiles. I don't know. Fuck you, Gandalf. It was like the food is already really super good, and we've got a custom menu for this, and yeah, it just feels like more of a thing and less perfunctory.
Dude, the Mr. Robot parking lot that was turned into like the carousel, and it was like a fairground, but it was, Mr. Robot style, so it was all like decrepit and like awful. The tattoo parlor that they set up for what the hell is that shitty movie? Suicide Squad? That was kind of neat.
Oh fuck.
Like all these different things. I love the way they do that. I think that's super cool. And, shout out to Austin for having fun with it.
Austin does a lot of really creative things though, and I think that it is a pretty young city. So like whenever Pokemon came out last year, they had a lot of bars had themed drinks for the 3 teams, and it was Instinct was always the best. I'm just saying, like, even if I wasn't Instinct, it always tasted the best because they did weird stuff for blue and red. But it was really fun to go around and just try the different drinks and that were Pokemon themed. So they just do a lot of fun stuff.
It's that balance between like marketing and making it actually worth doing as an experience on its own. Like if it's just like, welcome to this bar, everyone's dressed like a superhero because I don't know, you like superheroes, go watch a Marvel movie. I don't know, get out of here. Or if it's a cool experience that happens also to be themed to a thing they want you to buy or watch or whatever. Yeah.
There's a movie theater that Jesse and Dodger and myself go to, and every time there's a new movie, the bartenders will like come up with cocktails that are themed around the movie, and they don't want to use like original cocktails, so they make them up. And these are like not
They're all
cocktail
terrible.
bartenders.
They're never good.
They're
But
never
you
good.
always
They're
have
They're
to
just
try
like they're
them.
like dudes that are like ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da, and then they just like name it and give it to you. And Jesse tries like every single one every time, and he's just sat there just like oh, always awful.
So these are the kinds of people I mentioned that call themselves mixologists. And when you go there, you're gonna get your ass a flaming Homer, and that's about it.
Yeah, he's got a beret, but it's on backwards, and he's just like.
God bless that guy.
Oh, does that taste like
his-
shit?
in
Hang
his
on, let me
life.
just add Tabasco. There you go. Great.
It's an old fashioned, but with sriracha in it. I don't know.
It is literally like that. And then they give him just like movie themed names like The Captain. And
Don't
it's
even
just
ask about the Twilight. When the Twilight movies come out, they have 3 drinks that are all named like the Mr. Gray, and they're terrible. They're terrible.
Right.
Drinks
Yeah,
themed about.
Right. They're drinks that are so bad you'd have to be forced to drink them. That's why they're like that.
Yeah.
Like that's a very dangerous thing, and it is along the same lines, that idea of like taking a thing that actually requires some thought and attention. Like making a good cocktail is hard. Like there is an art to it, and doing it bad is easy to do. And then when you're trying to make it fit a theme, that adds a whole other layer of difficult on it. Like I'm pretty sure that these people responsible for these drinks were told to do that. It's not like they were like, it'd be really great if we made this like terrible drink that's not a good cocktail. But I find that it's funny when they just slap a new name on something or throw some food coloring in it. I find that the Twitch parties at PAX tend to do this. They're like, it's a hurricane, but it's purple, so fuck drink it. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, shout out to, speaking of PAX and the topic we're on, at PAX East, there is a bar down the road. I'm going to shout it out till I die. This place exists in that you go in and there's no menu. You tell them what you want to drink and you try to describe what you want, and the mixologists make it for you. Of course,
right.
I'm with a bunch of assholes, so we try to come up with like insane things. So my friend Alex was saying stuff like, I want it to taste like the betrayal of a king with a knife in his back. Like stuff like crazy shit. It was amazing. I watched a woman bend fire to make a drink. I watched some guy put shit together and it tasted just like I wanted it to taste. That stuff is amazing. Jump on that. If you can get that.
It's called something really simple like drink or drinks or something. Yeah.
Drink.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think
I've been there.
Drink.
The Cards Against Humanity folks like have a party there. I think every year. I've been to one, and yes, it's exactly as good as Jesse says. But that's what I mean about that skill. Like it's the ability to know all of the things and how they taste, plus how they will all taste in what combinations with what other things, and then to pair that with what someone thinks that they want. It's great. So when someone comes up to the bar and orders like a single plum floating in perfume in a man's hat, they can just be like,
I'm telling you, a dude ordered, he said, give me something that tastes like fire. And a woman straight up fire bent between two glasses, like fucking liquid fire. It was the coolest thing I've ever seen. I would have married her right on the spot. I would have been like, I don't know who you are, but I think you have powers and I need you in my life.
I mean, making a good cocktail is a power. Having your own bartender would be the kind of thing that once you get that supervillain money, you could do. You could just be like, you live with me now. Make me do it. Yeah. Yeah. Man, now I want a cocktail. All right, show's over. I gotta go. I gotta go to the bar. We're done. Well, all right. Here's a question then. Let's continue on the theme. What would be in a Nebula Jazz?
My gosh.
Yeah, if it was a cocktail, here we go. 5 people who don't know shit about making cocktails except drinking them.
Malibu.
Whoa,
Malibu rum in there.
Yep.
I know.
No.
I know a fair bit.
Yeah.
Jesse consumes a fair amount. I feel like between the two of us.
All right. A Nebula
Drinking a thing and making a thing are not the same.
Nebula Jazz would not be like
I made a thing for 8
spicy,
years. I got
deep
this.
tasting thing. I don't think.
Here's the thing. I disagree. I think I know exactly what a Nebula Jazz would be because it also would look like oh shit. All right. At the base, no matter what, it was so gross. It would be a shot of Jaeger because it's black for the space, and hold on, Goldschlager for specks of the stars, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then
You're just
on
going.
top,
All right, you're doing what the cinema guy did, and you're like going purely on looks, and it's gonna taste like shit.
No. But it's gonna taste great. But then the top layer is the bottom layer is a green Jello shot.
Right. I was gonna make a Jello shot joke, so there we go.
Jello
Thank you.
shot,
Mm-hmm.
and then you put the other 2 drinks on top of it, and then because of Aurora, whipped cream. Done. God, that's terrible.
It's terrible. I mean, if you want to do all the characters, they'd all have to have their own drinks. But I feel like a Eugene would be a green Jello shot with like a burnt out cigarette floating in it.
Yeah. Oh no, with like a green Jello shot with some type of like a Mike and Ike or something, like a weird candy
like
floating in it.
Yeah, jelly bean or something. There.
Yeah, like a jelly bean. Yeah.
I can't remember what they're called, but there's a shot called a tumor, and it's like a weird thing where you toss in some stuff that winds up congealing inside of it, and it looks really gross. I feel like that would be a Eugene.
And this is why we play video games on the internet and don't work at bars, kids. Because
look, guys,
that's alcohol that curdles on impact. That's why you have to shot it straight away.
There we go.
I feel like a Nebula Jazz you'd have like a dark like spirit at the bottom, maybe like some sours and some like Coke, right? And then like you'd get like a lighter spirit like brandy because brandy floats, and then you'd layer it to look like a Milky Way of some sort.
A nebula or something.
Yeah. You could float it. And then maybe like float some Baileys on the top. It would be good, dude. It would. I don't know how it tastes, but like
I would love for Nebula Jazz to just whatever it was have a giant single ice cube in it. Boy, would that just make my life, because then you sit there while like chilling. Because Nebula Jazz, you're chilling when you're like thinking about it.
Sure.
Like,
I feel like if
maybe a Nebula Jazz would just be a glass of bourbon. with a Q.
That's it.
That's it.
I feel like a Nebula Jazz, if we're going to stick to the way that the show works, it tastes different at the beginning and does at the end. And by the time you're done, you have no idea what just happened to you. It has to be strong enough
At
that
the
you
end,
cannot
you're
remember
the drunkest
drinking it.
you've ever been. Yeah.
It's like a Long Island iced tea, but worse. Yeah.
It's just
Right,
a fishbowl, is what it is. At this point, it's super sweet and awful, but you're like, oh, 5 more. Yep.
You drink it, and then it says on the menu that when you're done, the bartender punches you in the head.
Yeah, there we go.
Part of the drink experience.
You're just handed a neat bottle of vodka and a fist
Yeah.
to your face.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, if we ever open a roleplay themed bar, we've got some good ideas to get us
Look,
started.
we've got. I feel.
God,
in
this
my
is a
heart,
great community thread. I'm gonna write this down.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel in my heart because we have some amazing artists that have contributed their artwork. There are any
Yes.
mixologists out there that want to take their hand at a Nebula Jazz drink. You post
Oh my
that shit.
God.
We will love it.
And instructions on how to make it so we can
And
make it
instructions.
and drink it on the next episode.
I feel like no matter what, it has to involve liquid and Jello. Like
I'm gonna come up with one. I'll come up
Has
with
to
one.
involve-
And if we ever do like a live show, I'll like get the ingredients.
Oh my God, that's
And we'll-
perfect.
we'll
Yes,
drink
we can
'em and
make
just
them a
get-
live show.
Shit faced.
Awesome.
we can get shit faced on a live show.
Amazing.
I love it.
I know how to make drinks blue, so done.
Awesome. Oh my God. Now my mind is just racing. I'm like, what would be in a Grigori? What would a Gallahan taste like? Like, just my mind is just, it's out there. I'm that meme.
I feel like only Grigori knows the answer to that question. though.
Yeah, you don't want to drink one of those. That's a bad shit.
You don't want to drink
It's
a
not.
Gatorade.
Do not put that in your mouth.
Up.
What, a Galahad? Feels bad.
Yep. Awesome. Cool. Wow. There you go. I'm gonna remember. On the break. I'm gonna start that thread. People can start suggesting drinks. What does Nebula Jazz taste like? So I looked over my notes for episode 15,
Oh, boy.
and most of these notes that I made end in question marks, so are not super helpful to me. And then at the
Okay.
bottom, I just have "what is going on" underlined twice. So let's talk about that. The ending of the last episode.
Going on.
The ending of the last. I think this episode begins probably with like sort of sad sounding, like muted trumpet in the soundtrack. Right, we have like a slow fade up on a ruined bar, right, with like broken glass everywhere, and on the ground there's a pile of rubble, some stones just kind of scattered on the floor, and we see Rex and Aurora, and I guess probably Eugene, because Eugene, you probably would have come back after what happened at your office after Dwayne went on his. Left for his rampage.
Right.
And there's just this kind of like after the aftermath situation. The bar is empty, right? Everyone has fled. It's only a matter of time before the Mingasi like show up to try to arrest everybody because the planet is under martial law. But for a few moments, the three of you are alone in this bar that's been torn apart by goons. What does this scene look like? Like, Eugene, are you just returning? Are the three of you already at the bar drinking? What's going on?
I don't think I'm doing much of anything, really. I think I'm kind of, I don't want to say in shock, but I'm just kind of like sitting there, like not entirely sure what to do because a lot just fucking happened.
Yeah, like Aurora and Rex just like crash landed into your life again, and then also your friend Dwayne, his fiance, died, and he's run off to enact murderous revenge against an enemy of yours. That targeted hit the wrong person.
Yeah.
How is Eugene? Maybe we'll get a nice like close up of Eugene's quivering surface, and we can try to extract some emotional content from it.
Slow zoom.
Yeah,
Just nothing.
yeah, just a shimmering glorp.
Mm.
What are you feeling right now, Eugene? What's going on inside that mind blob of yours?
Well, right now I'm kind of feeling like this was my fault, understandably. And I'm kind of feeling like I need to do something because otherwise my shit is going to get 2 people killed and not just 1 person. But I'm not really sure what to do. And I don't know where she is because I gave the address to him and I really should have written that shit down, but it didn't occur to me at the time because, there was a lot going on. So I'm kind of trying to figure out whether or not I can fix this in a way so that my other buddy doesn't die.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm at. Quiver.
Yeah. Wiggle. All right. So maybe you're at a bit of a distance from your friends, and we see through. I mean, literally through you, but metaphorically also through you. We see Rex and Aurora. And what are the two of you doing? There's this sort of eye of the storm moment where you've dealt with one problem, and there's a little bit of time before the next problem shows up. What's going on with the two of you? What are you doing?
Rex got pretty fucked up in this fight, like more than he has ever in the show. So I think he's got gaping wounds, and you see him walk over to the bar, and there's a goon dead hung over the bar, and he grabs him by the collar and rips him off,
pulls him down,
and reaches over and grabs a bottle of whiskey, and you see him pour some on his wounds and then kick some back, and I think the silence is broken just by his occasional growl as he just pours alcohol on open wounds, and just he has his back to the group, he's not saying anything because it's just awkward at this point. He's just kind of perched at the bar with a goon next to him.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Aurora, what about you?
I'd say I'm just nearby on the bar. My head is leaning towards it, and there's this empty bottle of booze that I'm just rolling back and forth and just remaining really quiet while everything unfolds, because Eugene ran off and Rex is in bad shape. So I'm just sort of just sitting here trying not to drink pretty much. And you can see it every now and then I'll stop and just look at some of the booze around, and then I'll quickly look away. So
Okay. So just a lot of kind of awkward tension.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Eugene, I mean, it probably occurred to you already, but the only unless you want to try to go elsewhere and look for muscle, you're not going to be able to help Dwayne on your own, and time is running out, right? If he's on his way to get revenge for what happened to Pebble, he's gonna be coming up on that right quick.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you're kind of, if you'll pardon the expression, caught between a rock and a hard place here. Right. Listen, the hard place is the name of Rex's spaceship. So I think the thing here is that, yeah, if you do nothing, chances are pretty good that Dwayne is going to share the same fate as his beloved Pebble, right? He's running into a firing squad. And you have before you, drunk and lasered up as he may be, you have a powerful warrior who you might be able to convince to return, but you're not on the best terms, the two of you. So, I mean, I think it's very much about whether you stay and try to convince him, or whether you're no, I'm leaving. I'm curious to see what's up with Eugene here.
I honestly think in the moment he wouldn't ask. I think that he's sitting there for a minute, just quiet, while all kinds of mayhem surrounds him. And he just kind of, more to himself than anything, but definitely out loud, goes, "I gotta go." And he just starts walking back the other way so that maybe he can follow the trail of destruction that Dwayne has left. That's his only hope right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So yeah, I think that you hear Rex. You hear that. You hear Eugene at the door behind you. Do you let him go, or do you say something?
I think I let him get 20 feet. He doesn't know we're coming. He kind of maybe vacates the hole in the wall and takes a left. And Rex kind of looks back over the bar and just puts the bottle back and looks at Aurora, and he's like, "We gotta go." and then just kind of like dusts himself off and follows Eugene.
And as he does that, I sort of like push the bottle, and it just rolls the whole way down the bar until it falls off and breaks on the ground. And then I push myself up and just follow him and don't say anything.
Now I think we get a kind of like old man Logan moment from Rex here, because Rex, you were beat the fuck up, right? So when you go to stand, I think maybe what is like you slip or you hesitate or flinch somehow. What does that look like?
I think it's like a stagger, and then he realizes like Aurora's in the room, and he just kind of like plays it off like it wasn't
Right.
anything.
Tripped.
And just,
We get a shot that's clear that Aurora can't see your face, and when we see you kind of grimace in pain, it's clear that Aurora doesn't see that. That you're trying to hide that you're really hurt.
Yeah, he like pauses for a second, takes a breath, and then just like starts walking.
Yeah, and we can see like blood staining from inside your outfit. You're all like burned from the fight. So yeah, so you start to kind of stagger off after Eugene.
Yeah.
Okay. So chances are pretty good, Eugene, if Dwayne just kind of like barreled away in the direction of this address, you'll be able to follow him, but it will have attracted the attention of the Mingasi, of the police force that's kind of like locked down the planet.
Right.
What are you doing? Where do you go? What's your situation here?
I mean, I have no way of knowing where he's going unless I follow like this rubble.
Yeah, I mean, I think that like it's been more than 2 weeks for us, but I think Eugene remembers the address, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
because in my mind he was like, "Oh fuck no." Crumpled it up, threw it in the trash, and pulled it back out of the trash to give it to Dwayne.
I mean, I think it's totally reasonable to do the kind of like we get a sepia tone flashback to you holding the right, like to remind the audience,
turning it over.
Yeah, we can do.
I
that.
know
That's
this.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, that's fine. So yeah, you have an idea of where you might go if you were looking for Dwayne, certainly. The question is whether you go there directly or whether there's anything else you want to do first.
There's nothing I want to do first. No. I think that
no preparation. You're just gonna go there by yourself.
Yeah, because in my mind, it's initially she wanted me. So if I can get there in time, maybe I can like bargain with her or trade somehow, like create a situation where I'm in the shit and Dwayne can go. Even though deep down, I think I realized that Dwayne wouldn't leave because, just trying to figure out a way that even if I get fucked up somehow, that Dwayne will live and be able to maybe move on with his life once he's accepted what happened.
Okay. So I think we cut then after the two of them leave the bar. We cut to what's obviously, visually coded as like a bad neighborhood. Maybe we hear the sound of a Mingasi patrol ship somewhere far, far above us. We can see the golden the lights of the scanner. It does that thing that scanner drones do, where it like puts a spotlight down and kind of like goes through the street to illuminate how deep down kind of below the street level we are. And it's all kind of shadows, harsh edges, glowing signs written in alien languages, advertising lewd acts with tendrils and strange, like it's meant to be very kind of seedy red light district part of an already seedy planet. But this is what happens when the Mingasi occupy a planet, right? It just pushes all of the vice and stuff into the worst parts of town. And so you're in a bad neighborhood. And I don't think that that's necessarily unusual for Eugene, but
yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, but that this is like, where all the real bad business. If you need to hire like, an assassin to kill your firstborn son, this is the place to do it. And so we see
and
as
who
you
would I talk to for that? No.
Yeah, right. As we follow you through this kind of shady neighborhood, we see various aliens of differing species, like offering you things in languages that we don't bother to subtitle them. And are you making any effort to like disguise yourself, or like do we see you in like a trench coat and a hat, or are you just kind of rolling down the street?
I mean, I wasn't going to be, but now, yes, absolutely. But it's not a real trench coat and a hat, right? It's like a black like waist bag that I found that I've wrapped up in, and like some piece of trash that I put on my head, like meh.
Yeah, right. So you're just some kind of wandering Katamari Damacy of garbage.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, that is my life anyway. This is just more obvious.
Right. Okay. So yeah, we see you pass under a sort of a broken open, like a sewage pipe. It's like pouring some kind of dark fluid out into the street, and there's some urchin-y looking alien children playing in it. And we come to the outside of a bar. It's set into the wall again, like quite deep down. There's several stories of buildings. You're in a bit of a kind of an urban crevasse, if you will. So the light is reflecting off of the puddles of filthy water on the ground, and everything is in these kind of sharp reds and blues from these space neon, these hovering signs. And outside the bar's door is shut, which is unusual, but there's a big neon sign advertising. It's got a martini glass shaped thing with an eyeball floating in it. And outside the bar, there is a lizard man who is wearing a tie and a black fedora. And he has his arms folded over his chest, and he's standing in front of the shut door, and the door's got one of those like old timey like eye slit things on it. And this is the place, and it doesn't look like anyone bashed through the wall recently. The place is dingy. There is scum on every surface, but it doesn't look like there's been a fight here. And
I can't hear anything. Like I don't hear anything. I don't hear what sounds like a giant rock man breaking through shit.
No, you definitely
nearby?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you'd definitely be able to hear that if it were currently going on.
Okay. I think like as I sort of peek around the corner and I see this place, I sigh and I kind of like over my shoulder. I'm like, look, okay, I know that you guys are there. You don't have to come and do this with me, all right? Like, I'm not a child. I don't need your help, okay?
So yeah, you turn over your shoulder, assuming that they're there. Rex and Aurora, does Eugene find you, or is Eugene actually alone?
No, he like as soon as he says it, like Rex kind of like pops around the corner and leans on the wall and like folds his arms.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of like listens.
Yeah.
All right, good. Glad we're in agreement. I'll start walking up to the bar. Fuck it. Let's go. Let's go in.
As you start walking in, Rex is just like, we're just gonna go in there?
What? Yeah. What else am I gonna fucking do?
Find your friend?
But I'm pretty sure my friend is coming here, and it's real good luck that I got here first before he gets himself killed. So
I mean, he looks pretty competent to me.
Look, he's probably one of the nicest guys I've ever met in my life. And he just watched the love of his life die because I threw a fucking nasty photo away. All right. And I feel kind of like maybe I should take some responsibility for that shit and make sure that he doesn't get caught up in something that's going to get him killed. Do you follow me?
Right. So you are gonna kill yourself because you got his wife killed.
No.
What are you doing then?
I don't know. I'll figure it out.
In there?
Less plan is more. That's good. Okay. I see.
You're gonna figure out in there.
Well, what? Okay. All right. Smart, tough guy. What would you do?
Check the place out. Find out what we're doing. Find out how many there are. Find out where your friend is. I can make a list. Do you want a list?
I don't know how to find my friend. I figured probably be able to hear him once
That's
he's coming
surprising
around.
hearing that from you. You seem to be really good at finding people.
Oh, no. See, I just fucking followed you because you're a train wreck. I never had to find you because I always knew where the fuck you were.
Oh.
And I whenever Eugene says that, I'm like clicking away on my little my little pit boy over here, and I'm like, it's actually true, right? You're pretty easy to find.
Oh,
And I
fuck off.
And you, wait, how the fuck? What happened here? Why are you two together? Why did you guys come here?
Oh, looking for you, obviously.
How did
Ask
you
that
find
one.
me?
Both of you are really easy to find. Okay.
Okay, look.
Yeah,
All
both
right.
of you are really easy to find if you happen to have a galaxy-spanning artificial intelligent network of
Like,
spy robots.
Yeah.
Alexatronian technology.
like I play completely normal. Like, duh.
Yeah, like obviously.
Like, everyone should
So
know
easy.
this. So.
Yeah. Which, let me remind you, there was a timer put on them finding you several episodes ago. So maybe you have a thought there, or you're like, yeah, you're really easy to find, and then there's like, oh yeah,
But yeah, then I stop and I like go like, oh, all right, I also am really easy to find. Yeah, probably like hurry it up.
What the fuck does that mean?
I mean, do you really want to know, or maybe we deal with it once we help your friends?
Jesus Christ. Okay, all right. Fuck.
Rex
fuck
is
this.
like
I,
massaging
throw
his
off my
temples. He
disguise.
doesn't understand any of this. He's just
pull the
massaging
garbage
his
bag
temples.
off.
Yeah. Like, all right. Look, you were our leader. You've always been our leader once we're together. So what are we doing? Do you want to? You followed me, so you obviously want to help, and I appreciate that. And I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. I want to make sure that he's not going to get himself killed. That's literally all I want to get done right now. So if I know that normally you try and kill things, not like save things, but if you were trying to save a thing, how would you go about it?
I mean, they're after you, right?
Yeah.
And I ain't gonna do very well in there. But her,
Yeah, you look kind of fucked up. I got to be real.
they don't know who she is, right?
I don't want them to find out who I am either. That would be a bad idea.
No, you're right. They have no idea who she is. Interesting.
So you want me to go in there and convince your rock friend to come out here? Is that what I don't understand? I'm
Let me think. Hold on. Let me think about this. Let me think about this.
Good, because this is the extent of my plan. At this point, I'm out.
God, I'm just so lucky to have you in my corner. Let's see. What is the best?
Rex,
So I just-
Rex turns to you while you think, and he's like, I'm gonna survey the building or something, and just kind of like walks off.
Okay.
I'm
And as he gets around the corner, like outside, he does like one of those like leans where he's like,
Yeah,
hurting.
makes you lean on the wall.
yeah.
Yeah, the
Okay.
second he's around the corner, just fuck.
So
Yeah.
so you
My
lean on the
body.
wall, and we see a dark shape, some kind of like serpentine looking like shadow, kind of like slither on the wall near you. And I think because you're in pain, maybe you don't notice it right away.
Yeah.
But we see that, and then we get another shot of you from the front as you try to like pull yourself together, and then you hear a voice, Rex, that says, "You're not looking so good, friend." And you look up, and you see what I can only kind of describe as like a giant, like purple weasel man. It's like a slightly anthropomorphized weasel, long, like furry body, kind of like a furry snake, little like rodent face. He's wearing some kind of like the kind of clothes one might design for a long tube-shaped creature. And yeah, he's just, and he's like maybe a little cape, and he's sort of like slithered up out of the garbage and is like leaned against the wall, and he's got a like a long cigarette in his little sharp teeth. He's like, "You're not looking so good, friend."
At least they don't look like dinner.
And
he
he-
throws a glance at the weasel.
Yeah, he looks you up and down, and he puts up his little paws, and he's like, "No need to be hostile. I just thought maybe you could use some help. You're not from around here, are you?" And he like looks around.
Rex kind of like looks over his shoulder, like as to where the group was, but doesn't say anything.
Mhm.
And then he's like, "Why would you be offering to help?"
And he puts his hands out and he says, "I'm a helpful individual. It's my business to help people in need in a bad neighborhood. You see, I have information, medicine, You're hurt, friend. And he again gestures at your like blood on your hands.
He's like, all right. Big rock fella. Where is he? Seen him?
And he says,
Him charging down this way.
yeah, maybe not. I see a lot of things.
Oh, here we fucking go.
And he grins, and his smile, it goes all the way back to his ears. He's got this big, long, sharp-toothed grin, and he says, it's my business to know these things, and business requires transactions, friend.
What do you want?
And he says, what does anyone want? Credits. Imperium credits. Certainly a dashing sharkman like yourself has a little extra to throw around.
Rex like reaches into his back pocket and just like tosses him like a credit card. I think credit card. I think like it just has like a blanket like 10K on it or something. Just like a disposable one.
Okay, and it like actually works.
Yeah.
Okay. Where is this? Where did you get this money from? Normally Eugene handles the money.
The goons that got mauled in the bar.
Okay. Okay.
The head honcho had it like in his breast pocket.
Right, so you just took it off of one of them.
Yeah.
Okay. So he takes it and he holds it up, and I think
like,
that
it's got like a blood streak on it.
Yeah. He's like wipes it off with one of his little furry thumbs, and he says, good start. He tucks it into his pocket, and he says, looking for Rock Lorian. Came by earlier looking for a fight. Found one, didn't win. I think he's in the basement now. You saw the lizard man out front.
Did I see a lizard man out front?
Yeah, there's a bouncer. There's like a dude just in a little tie and a hat. He's kind of standing up front.
Rex just kind of grins and he's like, I know my way around a lizard man.
He raises a furry eyebrow. I'm sure you do. I steer clear of them myself. Disgusting creatures. Dangerous. Too unreliable, but they make for good muscle. As your Rocklorian friend found out, I think he's in danger or dead. Either way, not around, as you can see. And he kind of just gestures at the ground.
Rex he nods. And then he turns around and kind of throws up a hand. And he's just like, cheers, Snout. Appreciate it. And he heads back to the other two.
Yeah, so you start to turn and he says, hang on, shark man. And he kind of sloops up in front of you. Like he moves around very quickly in little bursts.
Like super scampery.
Yeah, exactly. Scampery. That's exactly the word. So he just scampers in front of you and like he's just like right up in front of your face. And he says, if you're going to get in a fight, you're going to need a little help, I think. And he looks at your wounds and he says, you're hurt. I know a doctor. Maybe I can help you. And he reaches into his little lizard or his little like weasel jacket, and he pulls out a glass tube with a little like breather thingy on the end, little mouthpiece, and he throws it to you.
Kind of looks at it. He's never seen one before.
Yeah, it's got some kind of like silvery vapor like floating in it. He says, "First one's free, hero. Try it."
He
This is how you get hooked on shit, Rex. This is how you get hooked on shit.
Just kind of like looks at it and looks at the weasel and goes, what is it?
Special concoction helps you think faster, fight better. You're going to need it, I think, if you're going in there.
Drugs are bad. Drugs are bad.
Rex, it kind of nods and just like pockets the vial.
Mm-hmm. And he says, good. Not a bad idea. Save it till you need it, but don't wait too long. If you live, and he like has a business card that just like appears out of nowhere, like a magic trick.
Yeah.
And he hands it to you with two long furry fingers. And he says, if you live, look me up. There's more where that came from.
I like the idea that like he tries to hand me the business card, but I don't react. So he like
tucks
it behind my ear, right? Like
exactly.
There's just nowhere to put it. He's just like, if you live.
Yeah.
Like pats like dresses down my shirt.
Mm-hmm.
You know who to call. Yeah. Rex just kind of like stands there and nods. waiting for this guy to move out of the way, essentially.
Yeah. And he kind of like he moves, but his body moves, but his head stays exactly in the same place. So his head like turns around you as his body kind of scampers, and he's like, "Good luck, Shark Man," and he like disappears off into a pile of garbage nearby.
Okay, cool. What does the card say? Rex kind of like plucks it out and looks at it.
I think I haven't. Perfect. You know what? I haven't thought of a name for this guy. Give me the break and I'll tell you. So you take the card out from behind your ear and you go to look at it, and we fade out onto our first break. I'll come up with a name for this cool purple weasel, and I will let you know when we return. Don't go anywhere. Cool purple weasel when we return with more Nebula Jazz.